What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am super excited because I am bringing you a Forbidden Light deck on the day that it has come out, and that is a deck that is centered around the new Malamar from Forbidden Light. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton, and let's do more cool stuff for you guys. And also, if you are new to the channel, here at TTM, we are not just a TCG channel, which is why you are here. We also have content in a collaborative manner. We are a collab channel. There is more than just myself. There is also Crobat for the Win, Jolt, and Maddie Brawlick. So all four of us, we do different aspects of Pokemon. I do TCG and draft format. Jolt and Crobat for the Win do draft content, and Maddie occasionally will bring you some Smogon stuff, and Abe if he ever reveals his head. He's like a groundhog on Groundhog Day, like he just kind of disappears for a while and then pokes up his head, and if he sees his shadow, well, there's no more Abe for another couple weeks. But yeah, so we are a collab channel. We have more than just TCG, so if that interests you, please feel free to subscribe to us. And also, there is a TTM Discord with the link in the description. We have channels for not only the trading card game, which is why you guys are here clicking on this video, but we also have channels related to all other aspects of Pokemon, including draft format and Smogon, like I said. So yeah, if you are interested in any of that, feel free to check us out. And also, one final thing before I get into the question of the day, or into the deck, I have to get into the question of the day. Mixed up my words right there. But yeah, my question of the day, something I always do. What is the best card that you have pulled from Forbidden Light to this point? Had to ask me, I would say whopping nothing. I was able to get 3 packs with the coins that I saved up because unfortunately I did not have the time with med school to collect a bunch of coins, and I thought that my codes would be here by now. However, unfortunately they are not. So I was able to open 3 packs, and I think I got a Torterra. I think that was probably the best card that I pulled. So I pulled a whopping nothing, was able to trade some of the extra stuff that I had for the Inkays, Malamars, and Mysterious Treasures. So yeah, that's why I'm able to bring you this deck. And I will preface this deck by saying this is not the version I wanted to bring you. I wanted to bring you the Malamar Ultra Necrozma version, but unfortunately my codes did not come in today. Now, last time with Ultra Prism, I ordered them through a different guy, and they were 4 days late. So I went back with the person that I always go through, and usually they always come through, get me the codes on the day of. I'm able to trade for what I need, pull what I need, and bring you guys the video that I want. Unfortunately, not the case today, so I am having to bring you a different version, but it's still a very, very cool deck centered around Malamar and the Burning Shadows Necrozma. Now, this idea was brought to you by a friend of mine, Facepalm Tree, so big shout outs to him. And really, you might look at this on the surface and just be like, well, this just looks like a completely inferior version of Ultra Necrozma and Malamar. And on the surface, you're right, because the Necrozma-GX attacks for 3 energy, which, I mean, is 1 more than Ultra Necrozma, and it does 20 damage less per energy. So for a baseline power-up, Ultra Necrozma can do, what was it, like 100 and, well, for a baseline power up, 110 for 2, easily get it up to 180, I believe, for just 2 energies. With this Ultra Necrozma, or with this regular Necrozma, you're only able to hit for 190 with 3 energies. With 3 energies on Ultra Necrozma, you're KOing pretty much everything. Well, the 3 energy discard, rather. Ultra Necrozma does have the caveat that you have to have a metal energy attached to it, but I'll get to that in a second. So on the surface, looks like Ultra Necrozma is just better because it has 10 extra HP and hits a whole lot harder. However, this version is actually very, very cool because it includes a Wobbuffet. And you might be thinking, okay, you can play Wobbuffet with Ultra Necrozma too. Like, that's just, I mean, it looks like that regular Necrozma just substitutes as a worse version of Ultra Necrozma. And you would be right, except for the fact that, first of all, the caveat that I mentioned earlier about the metal energy, you actually can end up whiffing metal energy in a couple crucial spots, but that's not the reason why this deck is different. I mean, it's just another thing that gives this deck a little bit of an edge over Ultra Necrozma. I mean, I'm not saying that this deck is better, I'm just saying that each deck has its advantages and disadvantages, and one advantage is that this deck relies solely on psychic energy. And then also the fact that you have Wobbuffet, which combines very, very nicely with the GX attack of Necrozma GX with Black Ray. You can do 100 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon EX and GX, setting them up easily to be finished off by Wobbuffet. So there's a very cool synergy between these two that Ultra Necrozma and Wobbuffet just don't have. So I mean, it's a very, very cool and different idea that while I would have loved to have brought you Ultra Necrozma, unfortunately did not get my codes in there. So that will be coming. That deck will be coming very shortly. Just unfortunately on the day of release. This is the deck that I'm going to have to go with, but it is still very, very cool. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the deck and what it is all about. Like I said, it is centered around Necrozma and Malamar. Malamar, you guys know what it does if you have been checking into Forbidden Light, but for those of you that don't, this Malamar is basically electric from, I think it was Noble Victories with the Dynamotor ability, but this with Psychic Recharge. Once during your turn, you may attach a Psychic Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So basically, it's just a way of recycling and regenerating energy that you discard, and combine that with Necrozma GX's attack Prismatic Blast, or Prismatic Burst, sorry, I'm going to say Prismatic Blast a lot, just warning you guys ahead of time, where you discard all Psychic Energy attached to this Pokemon, and it does 60 more for each that you discard. Basically, just have Malamar power this baby up. It discards all its energy to get off a big hit, and then you combine that with the Invasion and Retreat of Dawnwing's Necrozma, and there you have it. The Necrozma GX is revamped, recharged, and ready to go all over again. Now the Wobbuffet comes in where it's able to stall out and straight up just beat certain decks. So Wobbuffet has the ability Bide Barricade, which hasn't, I mean, it was originally in Phantom Forces and then got reprinted in Generations, so it's still around. And Bide Barricade, as long as this is your active Pokemon, each Pokemon in play, in each player's hand and in each player's discard pile has no abilities except for Psychic types. That works out wonderfully in this deck because everything is a Psychic type, and also shuts down different things like Zoroark, Lycanroc, the new Diancie Prism, just a whole bunch of other things that really rely on their abilities. Wobbuffet shuts them down, lets you set up, and also, like I said, with the Black Ray, is able to just clean through stuff very quickly. So I'm just going to talk about why I have the numbers of Pokemon and just go straight through the deck. First of all, we have two Dawnwing's Necrozma GX. This card is integral for the combination of Malamar and Necrozma, as you are able to just invade in, recharge a Necrozma, and then retreat out. Just rush in and retreat. It's reminiscent of that old Keldeo when you would use Electric in a Ray Eels deck. So that type of thing. 3/3 of Inkay and Malamar. You could run 4/4, but really you only need 2 Malamar in at a time, so a third one is just so that you aren't as susceptible to having them prized, getting knocked out, etc., etc. 3 Ultra Necrozma because they are, or not Ultra Necrozma, regular Necrozma because this is the main attacker of the deck. 3 Lele to maximize our chances of starting with a Lele into Brigette, as that's the strongest start this deck can hope for. And 2 Wobbuffet, as Wobbuffet isn't like a main attacker, it's just something that usually comes in and cleans up, takes 1 or 2 knockouts at the absolute most. As for the items, we're running 1 Energy Switch, just because you can't always have a Float Stone on something that you want, so you might have to play an Energy to get that free retreat out into whatever you want to go into. So having the Energy Switch allows you to play that energy onto the Dawnwings, or play the energy onto whatever you want to get out of the active, and then just switch it onto your main attacker. It just basically gives you more freedom for how you want to attach your energy for the turn. 2 Field Blower because Garbodor does give this deck fits, and so does Choice Band, so we want to get rid of those. And then for the search options, I'm obviously running 4 Mysterious Treasure because, I mean, that's what you want. You want 4 of these. You want the absolute max number because it's basically an Ultra Ball with 1 less discard. However, I still am running a couple copies of Ultra Ball, just because even though Mysterious Treasure is a better Ultra Ball still lets you search out anything in the deck. So I mean, it's basically like an inferior Mysterious Treasure, but it just gives this deck more searching options. Then we're also running 1 Rescue Stretcher as Recursion, just because this deck doesn't mind having energy in the discard pile. It actually kind of likes it because of Malamar, so Rescue Stretcher to get Mons instead of energy. 3, Altar of the Moon, so that we have the free retreat with the Dawnwing's Necrozma. I believe the only thing that won't have free retreat, actually even Necrozma has free retreat. So yeah, everything as long as it has a psychic energy to Altar of the Moon. And then as for the supporters, 4-3-3 of Cynthia N and Sycamore. I would run 4-2 of N and Sycamore. I believe that's what you're seeing a lot more now. However, this deck actually likes having stuff discarded, and it doesn't mind the discard option or the discard effect of Sycamore as much. So that's why I'm running a little bit more, and just because 7 is amazing. 2 Brigette, want to maximize the opportunities to start with Lele into Brigette, and then 3 Guzma because Guzma is amazing. As for the tools, we have 3 choice bands and 2 float stones, so that's what I'm going to be running. Just boost the damage output and then also give free retreat so you don't have to attach energy, and then 11 psychic energy in order to just be able to have as many as we need and be able to attach them whenever we need to. Now, I normally go right into the battles right here, but I will be honest, I am post-narrating this. I'm post-narrating this deck list because I did run into a little bit of a snag I ran into a little bit of a snag when I was recording, in that Wobbuffet, there's a bug going on right here where if Wobbuffet is active, it shuts off Malamar. Now, if you guys want to jump right into the games, there's a link in the description. It tells you right when the game starts, so you can go ahead and jump to that if you want. But there is a bug with Wobbuffet where if Wobbuffet is active, it shuts off Malamar when it should not at all. So I will have to be using a second version of this deck in the live. You will see that in my first game I encounter this bug, and so while this is the version of the deck that I want to showcase, this is 1,000,000,000% the best version of this deck. However, I did have to kind of adapt what I was doing because of the bug that is going on with Wobbuffet. So now I'm going to jump over to the different version that I'll be using in the last 3 games to show you what I'll be using in lieu of this due to the Wobbuffet bug. Okay, so here's the non-Wobbuffet version, which again is completely inferior to the other version. And while I really would like to show off the Wobbuffet deck, like I said, this is what I had to do. What I did was I switched out, got rid of both Wobbuffet, added a Giratina Prism, just because this version, while the other version was more about stalling, setting up, and delaying your opponent, this version is more straight up for speed. So I put in Giratina and Max Elixirs just so you can get powered up quickly, just try to overcome the potential slow start, potential, wow, I is good at English. It can overcome the slow start potential of this deck and just speed through. So this is what I'm going to be using in the last 3 games. I apologize. Unfortunately, TCGO just does not have it together, but we all know how that goes. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right on into the games. Alrighty, here we are in the game, and our first one we get up against is JL Horwitz. JL Horwitz. I'm guessing that's just their initials and then their last name. But unfortunately, we do not win the coin flip, so meaning we will not get to go first. And this deck really does like going first. I mean, it definitely prefers it, as it doesn't have any way of attacking first turn, and also, like, you really just kind of... You're just kind of there until you can start moving stuff with Inkay and doing all of that, all the shenanigans with Malamar. So we actually start off with an amazing opening hand, because what I can do is, I mean, I have Wobbuffet, have an Inkay down. I can just Lele for a Brigette, get another Inkay, and probably just a Necrozma, so that I can start attaching energy to it. I want to leave one spot on the bench open so that I can still play for another Lele if I need to. Yeah, so that I can still have a supporter for this next turn. And unfortunately, my opponent does have an escape rope, so he will be able to keep his abilities. But I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and attach to Inkay and then discard it, so that I can keep the ability lock on my opponent, because we saw that he's playing a pure fighting deck. Like, he has nothing that's non-fighting, so all of his abilities will be turned off. And that's quite frankly amazing for me, as I can just use this time to get my setup as consistent and as set-up-y as possible. So my opponent just played an energy and an escape rope, and it's just kind of chilling right now, I guess. So what I'm going to do, like I said, is obviously Lele for that Brigette to go ahead and get another Inkay and a Necrozma. And then I'll probably just hold on to the Mysterious Treasure and the Ultra Ball for next turn, so that I can grab Malamar and Lele, or really whatever I end up needing to get. Did my opponent just kind of... Okay, so I mean, it's my turn. I will take this opportunity, and I draw into another energy, which normally is very, very annoying. However, in this situation, that's actually pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and Lele for that Brigette, like I said, and then go ahead and grab my Inkay and my Necrozma, leaving one spot open. Okay, so all three Malamar in my deck. That's good to know. And do I want an Ultra Necrozma, or do I want... Nah, let's just grab a regular Necrozma, because I thought about it. I could, like, attach to Lele or something, but I think just getting Ultra or regular Necrozma ready to go, I think, is the best play. So let's just go ahead and retreat into my Wobbuffet. And then what I can do this next turn is, with the card that I draw, I mean, unless I draw a Sycamore, because that'd just be awesome, but with the card that I draw, I can Mysterious Treasure into a Malamar, and then I can Ultra Ball for a Lele, which will get 2 more energy in the discard pile, which isn't ideal by any means, but at the same time, I'm still going to have a Malamar, I'm still going to have a Necrozma getting set up in the background, and Wobbuffet just shutting off whatever abilities my opponent tries to go for. He can't even, what am I trying to say? Bloodthirsty Eyes, that's what it was. I was trying to remember the ability on the Lycanroc GX. He can't even Bloodthirsty Eyes me out because I do have the ability lock, like I said. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, Ultra Ball for that Tapu Lele, and then just Mysterious Treasure for the Malamar. But first things first, let's just go ahead and grab the Lele. I mean, it really doesn't matter what order I do these in, so let's just grab me that Sycamore. And then, actually, do I want to attach the energy? Nah, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do this to start getting my Malamar set up, because, I mean, Malamar does get that energy in right back onto my Necrozma, so it's like I never discarded that energy in the first place, essentially. I mean, I'm rolling with that logic, not sure it's the most sound in the world, but actually, I can go ahead and knock out this Carbink. Yeah, I can go ahead and knock out this Carbink. Doesn't look like the Buzzwole is set up to go yet, so let's just go ahead and Psychic Recharge onto my Necrozma. And what? Am I missing something? Why didn't that attach energy? So I know I'm just gonna attach this energy here, and then Psychic Recharge with the other one. See if that... What the heck? Why did both of them... Why didn't either of them work? I mean, I'd have to end my turn there, but... I mean, Wobbuffet allows Psychic types to have their abilities, so why did that not work? Must be a bug. I don't know. Man, that really defeats the purpose of this deck. Jeez, if I can't use Wobbuffet, or if I can't use Malamar's abilities when Wobbuffet's active, that completely destroys what this deck is trying to do. I mean, that's 100% a bug, because Wobbuffet allows Psychic-type abilities to go through. I mean, that's what Wobbuffet does. That's why you use Wobbuffet, is because Psychic abilities are allowed to be used. But, man, that's really, really annoying if I'm not able to use that. So I think what I'm going to have to do, and my opponent is pretty much just AFK, it looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and Guzma up that Buzzwole, bring up the Lele. Let's see if it works with Wobbuffet on the bench. Because, I mean, if Psychic Revenge just doesn't work, then, I mean, that's fine. But, no, it works. So it's... Man, that's annoying. That's really annoying that Wobbuffet active shuts off Malamar's abilities. So that's very, very unfortunate. But what I am able to do this turn... unfortunately, Black Ray does not hit for weakness. That'd be really nice. But, yeah, I am just going to go ahead and knock out the Buzzwole. But my opponent does concede. That's honestly super annoying that I can't use Malamar with Wobbuffet in the active spot. So, yeah, probably going to have to try to revamp this deck a little bit. I mean, I'm still going to do this deck 100%, but I think I might have to change things up, because if Malamar can't use its ability when Wobbuffet's active, then that utterly destroys this deck. So, yeah, I'm probably going to have to change things up a little bit for the next couple games. So, yeah, that being said, I'm gonna be right back with, I guess, another version of this deck. Alrighty, we have found another one, and this time with a different version of the deck. I mean, I would like to still have used Wobbuffet, but unfortunately, as you guys saw in the previous game, Wobbuffet just... there's a bug that it does not allow it to be conducive with the deck that I want to run. So I'm running the speed version of this deck that I showed you guys right at the end of the deck profile. And let's see how this goes. So we're up against a pure dark deck, and yeah, I really don't like that matchup because a lot of my stuff is weak to it, and my stuff that's not weak to it is still resisted by it. So I mean, that being said, I start off with an amazing starting hand. Like, this hand is pretty darn perfect. Like, the only thing that can make it better is like a couple Mysterious Treasures or something like that, because I'll be able to Brigette. I mean, I don't even have to Lele into a Brigette. I can save Lele for later, and oh boy, we're up against Hoopa. So that's going to be interesting. Giratina, good to know that that's there, because I think Giratina is going to have to be my way of dealing with it. So let's go ahead and get 2 Inkay down. Let's attach an energy to Necrozma, and then... Man, I'm really not sure how I'm going to go about this. So obviously Giratina is my way to win, but if he's able to power up a Hoopa, then Giratina is just pretty much going to be useless. So, I don't know. But my opponent does pass. Does just attach, play Team Flare, Grunt, and pass, so it's a Hoopa stall deck. But that's great for me because I think I might actually be able to win this turn if I get everything that I need for Giratina. So this actually could work. So let's go ahead and play Giratina down, use its ability to get 2 energy onto it, because what I need is a Malamar in energy and a Float Stone or something to that effect. Like, I just need some combination of that stuff, maybe. Let's go ahead and grab the Sycamore, maximize my odds of getting that, and... Did I get it? I think I got it. Yeah, because there's an energy in the discard pile. What I can do with my Mysterious Treasure is get rid of the Choice Band to grab a Malamar, and I think I got this. Yeah, I definitely have this. So all I have to do, I mean, assuming that the ability goes through. I mean, that wasn't as such a sure thing last game, but yes, it does. So we're able to play the energy onto my Giratina, Float Stone up the Necrozma, and look at that, we are able to immediately come through, and it... wow. Admittedly, Giratina was like the thing that I was thinking that, you know what, I'm not sure that I need this in this version of the deck, but I mean, I gotta have something to take on Hoopa that's not Malamar, and Giratina's like, you know what, I'm gonna reward you for believing in me, so I'm just gonna immediately have your back in the very first game that you do with this deck. So I mean, that was kind of awesome, actually, in all honesty. I think that's the first time I legitimately have ever attacked with Giratina Prism Star, and it worked out beautifully. I mean, that was exactly what I was kind of hoping for with the speed version of this deck. I mean, still not quite as good as the other version, but admittedly would not have had a chance against Hoopa at all. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to use the speed version of this deck, go right ahead. Clearly, it showed that it can do something and has the potential to explode within the first couple turns. So, yeah, very, very, very solid first game with this new version of the deck, and let's go ahead and try to find another one. Alrighty, we have found another one against Sky Da Bomb with a Fighting Psychic and Dark deck, so it looks like we are up against a Zoroark and Lycanroc deck, if I had to guess, and this is where being able to use Wobbuffet would come in, just insanely handy. Like, being able to have Wobbuffet shut off potential trades and Bloodthirsty Eyes would be insanely helpful. So if I can... Yeah, I mean, this... darn it, TCGO, not letting me use the version of the deck I wanted. But regardless, we are going to play this through, and I still think we have the ability to come out if I'm able to just keep Necrozma powered up. And I start off with... I start off with Lele, which is not what I want, but on the bright side, I will be able to get... Let's go ahead and get rid of the... Do I want to get rid of the Field Blower or Psychic Energy? Let's get rid of Psychic Energy, because I can still attach for the turn. Let's grab a Lele. Okay, Inkays are there. Brigette is there as well. So I'm going to get rid of a Psychic Energy because I'll still be able to play one. Let's go ahead and Lele for that Brigette, like I said. We have, okay, good amount of draw support. There's nothing like particularly insanely prized. It's not a huge deal at all. So let's just grab 2 Inkay and a Necrozma. Attach the energy to the Necrozma and I think just end the turn right there. I think, do I want to try to bait out the Field Blower? Yeah, let's go ahead and play the Choice Band, try to bait out the Field Blower because, yeah, Choice Band allows me to get knockouts on Zoroark and Lycanroc. The fact that Float Stone will get me a KO this coming turn, I think will be a lot more necessary than simply just having a Choice Band. So if he has a Field Blower early, I want him to use it on the Choice Band, as that's going to be more immediately impactful. And he does have the Riolu, so this is a Zoroark, Lycanroc, and Lucario GX deck. That is very, very cool. I mean, it makes sense, just run DCEs and Fighting Energies. But actually, if I hit this right now, I will be able to take the knockout guaranteed on the Zorua, and I do. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Max Elixir there, Float Stone up the Lele, and hopefully I can get another Necrozma and an energy so I can start powering up something else. And, I mean, I get the Necrozma, but do I get the energy? Let's hit this. Yes, we do. So that is beautiful. And what I can do now, retreat into my Necrozma. And do I want to play it down? You know what? Okay. So what I could have done right there is play down another Necrozma and gone for Malamar. But I really don't have anything that I want to put energy on at this point. Actually, you know what? I really should have just put the energy with the Malamar onto Lele, onto the non-Float Stone Lele. I mean, that was just a mistake because I have plenty of energy in the discard pile, and he plays down a Mew. Oh boy. Mew is going to be very scary to deal with, as it can just one-shot Necrozma with a Righteous Beating. So that's... But I mean, see, this is where something like Wobbuffet would really come in handy. And he manages to keep himself immune this turn. So even if I wanted to try to knock him out, I couldn't. So that being said, let's go ahead and... Okay, do I want a Dawn Wings? Do I want to try to gamble on getting a Dawn Wings? You know what? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to go ahead and play down Necrozma, because odds are his Mew is going to knock out a Necrozma at some point. Or he's going to knock out one of my Necrozmas. So I want to have another one, and of course I draw into a Dawn Wing. So let's just go ahead and play the energy there. Psychic Recharge onto the Necrozma. And yeah, I'll just end the turn right there. I mean, regardless, I will be able to attack this coming turn. I just have to attach an energy to the active Necrozma, play an energy onto my benched Necrozma, and, well, just energy the active, use Malamar to get an energy onto the benched. And while I will be getting 5 cards here, I should have enough stuff going on that, yeah, I mean, like I said, I knew that I'd be able to draw into something pretty easily. And he's going to get a Zoroark. Is he going to be able to get another one? So he gets another Zoroark, so that's, wow, that's not, and a DCE. So that was pretty much a perfect turn for my opponent. That's bad. But if I can knock out this Mew, he has very little way of immediately knocking me out, because he needs a strong energy, a Lucario, a Choice Band, and a Kukui. Those are like, he needs all 4 of those in order to be able to knock out my Necrozma, which is, in all honesty, very unlikely. But this Necrozma, for the moment, is going to go down, and whatever he Ultra Balls into, I'm just going to end him. Yes, he does have the two Zoroarks on the bench, but at least this way, I'll force him to draw into all 4 of those things if he wants to be able to take a knockout this coming turn. So this Necrozma, wow, forgot the name of it. This Necrozma is going to go down, unfortunately, but what I can do is go immediately into Inkay and play down this guy. Let's go ahead and Psychic Recharge. Actually, you know what I should have done? Probably just... Yeah, I probably should have just played Necrozma active, but I mean, it really doesn't matter. Let's get rid of the Choice Band or the energy. Let's get rid of the Sycamore to grab a Malamar. And yeah, I guess it does matter overall as I'm losing another energy. So I mean, I've lost 2 energy on board, but it would have just been an extra energy onto a Necrozma or an extra energy onto a Lele, neither of which really matter all that much. So let's just go ahead and do this, and then end. I would love to go for my GX attack right now. If I'd be able to knock out this Mew with my GX attack while getting 100 damage on both Zoroarks and Lele, then like that'd be amazing. Like that would be absolutely phenomenal. Unfortunately, I can't go for that right now. So let's just go ahead and Prismatic Burst. Actually, you know what I could have done? Yeah, you know what I could have done? I could have played the Choice Band onto Necrozma and then gone for Prismatic Burst. Ah, dang it, I can't believe I missed that. So I'm not playing particularly well this game. I mean, I think I'm a little tilted from Wobbuffet not being able to attack, but I mean, either way, I'm in a great position. Unfortunately, no way. I end him into a Choice Band, a Strong Energy, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. I end him into literally the perfect hand. That sucks so much. Oh my gosh, that's painful. That is really, really painful, because now he's going to be able to knock me out. I can't believe he got that. I can't believe I end him into a Strong Energy, Choice Band, Lucario, and Kukui. That's nuts. Oh well, I mean, there's nothing we can do, but what I will be able to do this turn is take a knockout onto that Lucario. As much as I really would have liked to have my other Necrozma, I think I still should be okay, because I'll be able to take a knockout on the Lucario. Guaranteed. Not Psychic, no, it's just Psychic Charge, Psychic Recharge twice. And then energy this guy up, and then I think I'm 100% going to end, because yes, he does have the 2 trades, but I'd rather force him to trade rather than him be able to play out his hand and then be able to trade. Like, be able to play out his hand and then just get a couple extra cards. I'd rather force him to use the trade in order to get the supporter, and we are able to knock out that Lucario, take 2 more prizes, and be in a spot where we might be able to win the game. So, I mean, okay, yeah, he's got the Lele. I mean, I think he has it won. All he needs is a DCE and a Lycanroc. He can bring up my Dawn Wings and knock me out. And with the Lele, he will either, okay, he'll have the Sycamore. All he needs is just Ultra Ball DCE. Like, that's, yeah, because that'll do 200 damage. He has just enough Mons on board in order to be able to take that win. So, I mean, this was a very good game. Yep, there's a DCE, and he has 2 more trades, so he probably has the Lycanroc. So, I mean, this was a very good game. Just, unfortunately, came down to my opponent still being able to use his ability. So you're seeing how strong Wobbuffet would have been by him not being there. If Wobbuffet was there, I would have shut down those trades very early on, and it would have gone... Like, I think it would have definitely gone in our favor, because I also could have Black Ray GX'd earlier. No, okay, so I'm not saying that I couldn't have... What? Do I win? I think I win. Yeah, I think I definitely win, because I can bring up a Lele and knock it out. So let's just go ahead and invade. Attach the energy onto my Necrozma. Double Psychic Recharge, and then all I have to do is bring up the Lele, and I'll be able to win the game. So yeah, like I've got this. All I have to do now is just, okay, so let's go ahead and retreat into my wait, no, oh no. Oh no, 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 I choked it. I choked it. Oh, I choked it so hard, guys. Ah, man, that's painful. That's a painful way to lose it. Oh man, I can't believe I did that. And yeah, I'm just gonna scoop right there. Oh no, I can't believe I did that. So yeah, that game was pretty much just a culmination of me not thinking. I mean, I had a chance to win it right at the end, and I just didn't think through the series of plays correctly. I knew I had the win, recognized it, and I just did it in the wrong order. So, I mean, there's honestly no one to blame but myself. I also could have gone for the Prismatic Burst if I had choice banded up my Necrozma early in the game. gotten the damage on the Zoroarks, and then also knocked out the Mew in the process. So 100% my fault. 2 misplays cost me the game. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Sorry this couldn't have been the video that I wanted to bring you, but like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And this is Styx, signing out. Why not? Enjoy Forbidden Light, guys, and I will see you all later.